fellow subscribers. Sorry that you have to listen to my voice, but I really didn't want to have to caption everything because I'm so lazy. So today we're going to make our own silhouette cutting mat out of this. I don't even know what this is, but I got it from Daiso, and it's about the same kind of material. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this up, put some glue on it, and use it as my third cutting mat. So this one here, this one is the original silhouette cutting mat. You can see it's really gnarly because I've used it a lot. And this is one that I made before with the same sheet. So I basically just traced all the margins, and then I put some tacky glue on it. It works perfectly. It's a little bit thicker than the original one, but it doesn't make a difference in terms of how my sticker paper cuts. So yeah, I have two right now, and I wanted to make another one. It just makes my workflow a lot quicker when I can preload sticker sheets onto here without having to wait for them to finish cutting. I honestly don't remember how I made that first one, so I'm just going to play it by ear, trace it out, and then start cutting out the mat so that it's the same dimensions. So I just traced a rough outline of how big the sheet is going to be. I'm going to cut along these lines, but I also have to draw more guidelines for the actual sticker sheet. So actually I'm going to cut these ones out first and then draw the rest in later. I found it a lot easier to just cut it with my paper cutter because I can get a clean cut and it fits perfectly through here. I'm not too worried about the length just because the margins are within whatever you traced out. So even if it's off by a little, it should be okay. So I unscrewed the safety from my paper cutter, this thing here that prevents you from chopping your fingers off, just because this sheet doesn't fit in without taking that off. I mean, it doesn't really fit still because these things are in the way, and I'm just gonna try and cut it, and hopefully I don't mess it up. Essentially, I'd be cutting this one straight down. I'll try to get most of the cut and then finish it off with a scissor or something. Hopefully this works. If not, I'll be very sad. At least this was only $2, so I didn't waste that much money. Just trying to line it up as much as I can here. So you can see over here, it's lifted up, but I'm just gonna try and cut it anyways. Alright, not bad. So it's cut up to here, and I'm just going to put the safety back on, and I'm going to finish off the cut with a scissor. And try to cut straight. There we go. Nice. And I think I also rounded the corners just because these are really sharp. And the original silhouette mat has like rounded corners. I forgot how I did this, but I'm gonna try feeding it through my corner cutter, but it might be too thick. Oh god, yeah. Let's try a couple of times. Oh, nice. See it? Sweet. So now you're not gonna stab yourself when you use it. So now we're gonna write the margins in. For me, I only mark the outermost margins because I only put letter sized sticker paper on here to cut out, so I don't need to really mark any of these other numbers, or like the A4 size. I just put the 8.5 by 11. So I'm gonna put this one, which is the original one, right under my sheet that I just cut out. Doesn't really matter which side, but I'm just gonna try and find a side that's a little bit clearer so I could write stuff on there. I would say the most important marker would be this top right corner, or sorry, top left corner here. So I'm just putting the corners down, and then afterwards I can connect them with the ruler. And you're basically just drawing a square, so you know where to put your paper. Next, I'm going to take a ruler, connect two sides. So your top of your sticker paper is always going to be lined up with that top line. You have this right now, they look like brackets. You see here, it lines up perfectly. I'm going to draw this one running down. I'm going to trace that one. And I think I'll leave the A4 out. I don't really need it. Same thing on this side. I'm going to trace this line going down here. Okay, this is what I have so far. I think it's a little bit off in terms of the bottom, but I'm not too worried because it doesn't matter as long as the front's pretty accurate, or the top. So I'm just gonna write on here what they usually have on the silhouette, which is 8.5 by 11. So I'll always be lining up the corner of my sticker paper right with this one. Last thing we want to do is add this little arrow, just so you know which way to feed the paper into the machine. As you can see here in the silhouette one, they have that there too. So this is what it looks like so far. We've got our markers. I'm gonna let the Sharpie dry a little bit, and then we're going to add the sticky glue onto here. I'm gonna put it within this black box, leaving out this. Not that I have a particular reason for that. I'm just going to do the exact same as what Silhouette's cutting mat does. For the re-sticking part of this, you'll need a couple of things. First one is tacky glue. This one is Aleene's. Tack it over and over. So basically this is a glue that you spread on. It dries, but it dries still sticky, similar to what you usually get out of the package with cutting mats. Make sure you get a tacky glue and not just a regular glue that would dry and just dry hard, because that's not what you want. You want something that would dry and stay sticky so that you can stick and peel stuff off of it. So this, I got it from Michael's. You also probably want some masking tape. I made a mess last time on my desk. I didn't use masking tape. So what I'm gonna do is tape it down so the mat doesn't move while I'm putting the glue on. So yeah, you need some masking tape for this. And the last thing you'll want is preferably a plastic squeegee. This is what you're going to use to spread the glue on there so it's nice and even, nice and thin so that it dries. You don't want too much glue or else it'll take too long to dry. It'll be too sticky or too bumpy under your paper. So get something flat like this that you can spread your glue out with. A credit card or gift card. Maybe don't use your credit card, but a gift card would work if it's plastic. If it's paper, it might start breaking down because the glue will kind of wet it and the paper will break apart. So try to get something that's plastic. I got this, I don't know, from Amazon maybe? Oh, so this entire space is what we're going to put our glue on. You're just going to put a thin line here and then work it down. We're going to spread it first, and then you would notice that some glue gets caught on there. Then just go back around the other way or something like that. I'm going to do one more layer after I let it dry a bit. It's a little dry. I'm going to add another layer on. Time to take the tape off of here. I might have to go over the lines again because the tape kind of took all of my margins off. Oh well. You can't really tell there's glue in it because it's already started to dry, but there's the tacky glue. This is almost finished. You just have to let it air dry now. I usually place it by a window to speed up the process. And this should be ready to be used. If not tonight, then the next day. It should dry pretty quickly because it's a very thin layer. Alright, checking up on the mat. It's only been maybe less than an hour actually, but just wanted to test how tacky it was. Looking pretty good. That's what we want to see. I would recommend to still leave this overnight, just because the last time that I did it, it seemed like the glue was a little too wet still, so when I peeled my sticker paper off, it actually kind of ripped the backing a little bit, just along where the silhouette's rollers run, because it kept pressing into that area while I was cutting. It didn't really affect the stickers per se, but it stuck onto the mat and I had to kind of scrape it off, which was not fun. So I would say I'm going to leave this overnight just to make sure it's completely dry, but it's looking good so far. It's been a couple of weeks since I've made this DIY silhouette cutting mat, and I just cut some stickers out on there, so I wanted to show you guys that it's working pretty much perfectly. Look at that. Good stuff. So the cutter was able to read all the registration marks